We'll get to that segment about movies, but first, let's hate on some pumpkin spice.
I'm not hating on pumpkin spice. I love pumpkin spice.
I'm on the fence a little bit.
I love pumpkin spice. I think it's a little overdone, but
just
one of my
little bit.
favorite. I mean, that's one of the things I love about fall. I love pumpkin pie. Yeah, but we our culture kind of has taken it a little too far with the pumpkin spice thing.
I blame Starbucks. I blame Starbucks.
I think so too.
I think the roots of the pumpkin spice, all the things, Starbucks. Shame on you. Starting trends that everyone must copy.
Well, and starting them like in the summer. Like technically it's like late
Texas,
August.
summer
And,
starts.
the pumpkin spice lattes are out. Like,
Oh, gosh.
Really? Already?
So much hype. Ridiculous.
It's still August, but whatever.
All right. How are we doing this?
Let's get into this. So we both have some pumpkin spice items that we're going to try and see if the other one can guess. Did they actually pumpkin spice this? Like, did they for real?
Yeah,
or,
and you need to guess too.
Or not. So you've probably seen all the things that you probably bought a lot of the things out there that we're going to mention.
Shame on you.
But I guarantee
you fell for the pumpkin spice marketing.
I guarantee you there are things on here that you haven't bought and probably shouldn't buy. So
yeah, don't do it.
All right.
All right,
you ready?
what's the first one, dude?
All right. First one I'm going to give to you. Spam.
Not email spam, but like
the canned meat.
Canned meat, mystery meat.
Not meat. Whatever it is, it's like meat,
maybe
but not
meat.
Maybe
it's
meat.
maybe meat.
But the question is, Daniel and listening audience, did they pumpkin spice spam?
I feel like spam could be anything,
Yeah.
and because it's anything, I'm gonna go. Yes, they pumpkin spiced it.
The answer? Yes, they pumpkin spice spam.
Of course they did.
Like-
Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they do such a crazy thing?
Of all the pumpkin spice things I will try, this is not on that list.
All right, I got one for you.
Okay.
Did they pumpkin spice it? Kit Kats.
Kit Kats. Actually, I've had the birthday cake and the apple pie Kit Kat. I'm gonna say they probably did.
It feels like it belongs.
Yeah, that's pretty.
They sure did. They pumpkin spiced it.
Yeah, they did.
Hey, I grew up in Japan, for my early years, and some of you know this, but they put like matcha, like green tea Kit Kats. And you think they taste weird, and they do, but they also taste good. Let's put something really bitter in a sweet candy. Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, sometimes it'll work, but
It'll work.
all right. I got one for you. Sprite.
Sprite.
Did they pumpkin spice Sprite?
I'm going to go totally no on that. I mean, that's just too gross. Because pumpkin spice latte, it needs to be something smooth, whereas this is citrus. I think that those are opposing flavors. They don't belong together.
You're right.
I'm right. All right.
They didn't pumpkin spice Sprite yet.
Don't do it. Don't.
I don't
No.
know. They might.
No Coke. Wait, are they owned by Coke? I don't know. Don't even. No.
Yeah,
No.
I
I know you're thinking about. Don't do it. All right, I got one for you, dude.
All right.
Goat milk. Did they pumpkin spice goat milk?
Oh.
I feel like it seems like that's something that would happen.
Well, yeah, I would think they probably would if it's like, yeah, I mean, they pumpkin spice milk and eggnog, and yeah, I'm gonna say yes.
No, you're wrong.
Oh.
Boo-boo. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, they did not pumpkin spice that. All right, give me another one,
I
dude.
got one for you. Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts. They had to have pumpkin spiced that. They had to have. There's no way they didn't.
They pumpkin spiced it.
Yeah, they did.
And I will be trying this. Like I love Pop-Tarts.
You are a sucker.
Like I said, I love pumpkin pie. That might come pretty close.
Yeah, sure.
All right, man, you give me one.
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper.
Did they pumpkin spice it?
Surely not.
There's already like spice in there.
Yeah. I'm gonna say no.
No, you are correct.
Oh.
Yeah, no Dr. Pepper pumpkin spice. Thank the Lord. That would be sacrilege.
Yeah,
Total
that'd be not
sacrilege
good.
to dilute and digress black gold.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I love Dr. Pepper, but I think I know there are people out there. Mark Hutchinson, if you're listening, I know you love some Dr. Pepper.
I like Dr. Pepper, but I'm really a Coke fan. Like I just straight up classic Coke.
Yeah,
That's
me
my
too.
jam.
Me too. But
McDonald's Coke. No one does it better than McDonald's.
They do good.
And they do.
Yeah. All right. How about this? Charmin toilet paper. Did they pumpkin spice?
Did they scent it with is it colored like pumpkin spice or scented? Maybe both. I don't know. I'm going to go why not? Yes, they totally pumpkin spice toilet paper.
Not yet.
No, not yet.
Nope.
They should.
And again,
They should.
don't do this because That'd just be weird.
Let's be weird. Let's move on from the toilet paper.
Yeah, because
All right.
Let's digress.
I got one for you.
That will digress.
Hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer. Oh, I've actually had some of this.
Really?
Pumpkin spice, yeah.
It's so that
Pumpkin spice hand sanitizer.
Well,
yeah,
I guess you had some inside knowledge on this. Yes, they have pumpkin spice hand sanitizer.
Yes, crazy.
Now with not just aloe, but pumpkins, real pumpkin pieces, so you can see it's real. Because the pumpkin totally sanitizes your hands better with the power of pumpkin.
What is that? Well, pumpkin spice. Just feel folly.
The power of pumpkin in your hands. Right.
All right, here's one for you. Fishing worms.
What would a fish want in a pumpkin pie? There's a fish swimming around in a lake going, man, forget all this worms, forget all this other stuff, and catfish.
Something
I want
different.
some pumpkin spice up in this lake.
Something different. Maybe might attract them.
There's no way. It can't be real.
Wrong.
Someone did it.
Someone
did it.
They have pumpkin spiced fishing worms.
Why?
Go figure.
Why? It's not like people are eating them. If you are
no.
very, very special.
Yeah. Which, by the way, did you
Don't
know
eat
that,
the worms.
Did you know that like they have a dog latte of pumpkin
Oh
spice?
my goodness! Come on.
That
is too far.
Yeah, they really do.
That's too far.
Yeah. Okay. All
right, last one. I got last one for you.
Okay.
Did they pumpkin spice sneakers? This isn't even a food. Did they pumpkin spice sneakers? Sneakers.
What?
Let's just.
Why would they do sneakers?
I don't know, man. It's pumpkin spice all the things.
I would say no.
No. Unfortunately, you are wrong, my friend. Pumpkin spice sneakers are a real thing.
What?
Yep.
Pumpkin spice sneakers?
Someone went there.
Oh, what brand? Do you know?
I didn't dive that deep into the internets, the interwebs to figure that one out.
I'm gonna go check that out.
You go Google it, my friend.
I'm not sure I believe that.
All right. Well, if you got some crazy pumpkin spice items you have seen, we would love to see your pictures or comments on our Facebook posts.
Because there's a lot of them out there, right?
Seriously. We got to know this. All the things pumpkin spice. What's your something awesome, something lame, Mr. Super Spiritual?
Okay, well, I'm going to start with my something lame, which this isn't spiritual. But so yesterday, the CDC put out the Halloween guidelines. Have you seen this?
Yeah. I think you forwarded it to us.
Yeah, so
the other day.
Check this out. The CDC for Halloween, they've given their Halloween guidelines, and they've basically said avoid door-to-door trick-or-treating. Avoid trunk-or-treats.
It's basically all Halloween.
Avoid crowded indoor costume parties. Avoid haunted houses. Avoid crowded hayrides. Avoid rural fall festival from hotspots. Like, let's just cancel Halloween, right? Which maybe some of you listeners are like, big deal. But if you have kids, like that's a fun season to go and just to get candy. McGinty likes to go and have his kids get candy for him, but just to dress up and to have fun. And I'm telling you, like this is probably the best night of the year to meet your neighbors, like because they're all out
and you don't have to see their faces. But they're all wearing a mask.
Right.
I think the most favorite costume this year might be like doctors and nurses.
We're
ready for that.
Yeah.
You got the mask for it.
But they're in their driveways and they're nice and they it's not like you're having to knock and hope they'll come out. Like they're most of them are there and they're giving candy out and so now
it's all prepackaged food.
Right.
Granted, they're all touching the prepackaged stuff, but you could take that candy home and just like hand sanitizer it.
So way to go, CDC, for canceling all the things Halloween.
You are a buzzkill.
Hey, I know. Crazy times.
You gonna walk it back?
No, I'm not walking it back.
You're gonna walk it back?
It's lame. It's lame.
It is lame.
So,
but here's the thing with Halloween.
Coronavirus is lame.
It is lame. I would think with Halloween, I feel like there's a way to do this with being creative, right? We just have to rethink how we do these things. I heard of someone saying, you know what? Instead of putting candy in the bucket, I'm going to hang a bunch of string in my front yard. I'm going to hang candy from the string.
Like a clothesline?
Like a clothesline. So kids can just pick the string, candy off the string. It's kind of fun.
That's like a lot of work.
It's a lot more work than dumping it. But you know what? In order to be creative and find solutions, it requires a little bit of mental effort and a little bit of like actual effort to do things differently.
Like how do you keep kids from like grabbing...
You just kind of have a get off the lawn, get off my lawn if you're taking too much candy kind of attitude about it. So funny story about Halloween candy. This is before we had kids. My wife and I would hang out in the front patio and teenagers would come in, with little kids, I wouldn't do this to them, but teenagers would come up to our door with these huge pillowcases, just trying to fill this thing with tons of candy. And so they come up to me and I would take a piece of candy from my bowl and then I would reach into their
I know where this is going. And you took their candy,
and I wouldn't actually drop the candy. I would actually take some more out of the pillowcase and put it back on my bowl.
What is the matter with you?
No idea. And so, like, our candy bowl was like the bowl that never ended. Oh, it was great,
dude. You're a minister. You're a pastor. How could you do that?
You know, I was a teacher then, so I feel like I was a Bible teacher. So
at least now, if you were to do it, you say, "I just did it for my kids." But
no, I was
a
cheapskate. But part of it was like to teach these like high school kids, like, listen, come on, man, y'all getting a little greedy on this like candy thing. I don't know if I actually ever took any candy out of the bags, but I definitely didn't put any in.
Okay, 100 people polled. Name something that people put on the front porch in the fall. Okay,
so I have to think of these things. What I think the number one is. I think
you don't have to think of number one. Just think of any that are on the list. Like,
I think pumpkin.
Okay, pumpkin definitely on the list.
Okay, good.
All right. 42 people said that. So give me two more from that list.
So 42%. I would say some kind of leaf wreath.
Wreath? Yep. Eight people said wreath. Okay. So you get one more.
Is this just for the fall? This is not counting Christmas?
It's just for the fall.
Just fall. So we wouldn't have Christmas lights up yet.
Nope.
Some kind of inflatable something. We have like Mickey and Minnie vampires on our front yard.
No, that's not one of them.
No? Okay.
You get one more guess.
It's in the front yard or just front porch?
Front porch.
Front porch.
Yeah.
Some kind of, welcome sign?
No.
No?
No. I'll give you the other answers. You did good. You said pumpkins and wreath. Mm-hmm. The other choices, answers were mums.
Mum.
Hay bale.
Wait, mums?
Yeah.
What's a mum?
Mum is flowers.
Mums? You put in the front door? Is that like just for prom?
No, like to put out front. No. Like mums. The flowers, the yellow flower. I think that's okay. So we're not doing a great job.
We need our female audience to help us out here.
I think the mums are like the yellow flowers that you put out that are real.
Let's go with that because I have no idea.
Okay, I think. Okay, and hay bales or corn.
Who puts hay bales in the front porch?
Apparently, everybody that answered this survey, you weren't a part
of that.
Maybe
that's what they would like to do, but they don't do.
I don't know.
And then corn, like the dried corn thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It was dried corn. All right.
I'd like to know, was the Treaty of Paris signed in Paris? For those of you history buffs. The funny thing is, I actually taught U.S. history for I think 2. I'm trying to remember, like 2 years of middle school students, which was always really funny for me because I was a Bible teacher in a Christian school and a journalism teacher, and then they also needed a U.S. history teacher. I'm like, okay, let me get this straight. You're asking the guy that didn't grow up in this country to teach U.S. history? Okay, sure. Let's just roll with that.
They thought you needed to know it.
I was like,
go learn it and teach it. Right? You're a teacher?
I remember taking U.S. history in college just for fun. And
I love U.S. history.
I love it too.
One of my favorite teachers ever was also the football coach at.
It's always a football coach, right?
But he was a great history teacher.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's where I first fell in love with American history. Was in high school.
I remember my American history teacher. American history was supposed to be a junior class at the school I went to in Japan, but when I came back to the States for my junior year, it was a freshman class. So I remember it just being super easy. Like I would literally sleep through the class and get hundreds in all my tests, and it would just drive my teacher, Mr. Arisco, nuts. In fact, he would pull these pranks on me, and he would try to make me fail his tests. And he would tell me, "Listen, if you get less than 100 on this test, I'm going to fail you for the semester." And he would get mad at me, turn it in. I got like 110% because he'd always put extra credit on it. But there was this one time he got his revenge, and I would fall asleep in his class a lot. So I fell asleep in his class with my head down on my hands and sort of like bent elbow if you're watching the video, and I fell asleep and I slept right through the bell. And so he just let the next class come in, brought in another teacher from another class, and then like this teacher comes up to me and says, "Don't you ever fall asleep in my math class again." I'm like, math class? What in the world? I thought I was in U.S. history. Where am I? And my left arm is numb for sleeping on. I can't feel it at all. So I'm like this like dead arm trying to pick my backpack and get out of the class and figure out what is going on. I leave the classroom and Mr. Risco is just outside there just dying laughing. He just thought he was hilarious.
That is funny.
Yeah. So he got me back for sleeping in his class. And I'll have to share another funny story later about sleeping in class. But I totally deserved that. So don't fall asleep in your U.S. history class.
Yes. Not a good idea.
Not a good idea at all. Surprise question.
Okay, well, since we've been talking about your time in Japan and kind of your youth.
Okay.
What has been for your favorite job?
Oh man.
That you've aside from this one, right? Your favorite job and your least favorite job.
All right, favorite job, least favorite job. These are all like when I was in 7th grade. I had my job after school was to vacuum carpets. Did not like that job.
No, I wouldn't.
It was pretty lame. All my friends would be out playing, doing stuff. It's like I'm just vacuuming carpets. And I would also say cleaning the locker rooms when I was a sophomore in high school was awful.
Yeah,
I'd get up super early in the morning, and the girls' locker room was always the worst. Always the nastiest.
Now, why'd you have that job? Like, what was
I
that?
needed money. And
I mean, what was like your title? Your
janitorial stuff.
Okay.
They would hire high school students to do cleaning and different stuff around school.
I got you.
And so, but my favorite job in high school, this is going to explain a lot of things here in a second. My favorite job was a senior in high school. I was a hair model.
Right.
Seriously, like there was a barber who was training other barbers for a world's best barber competition, and he needed guinea pigs, and they called us models, which were anything but. And so I'd show up, I'd get a back massage, sit in a chair, and they'd do these crazy hairstyles. I mean, all kinds of crazy dyes, and I get paid like $10 an hour. Like under the table virtually. Like I just come in and they just pull cash to the cash register and just give it to me. Like it was so shady.
Hair model, you, really.
I know, which is why I have no hair today, because they put all kinds of crazy chemicals plus bad genes. So, but yeah, I would come home with like some wacky hairdos, man.
That's funny, man. Okay.
All right. So surprise question for you.
All right.
What was your first date like with Melody?
My first date with Melody.
Melody's his wife, by the way.
Yeah,
Melody. You're wondering.
Yes, my first date with Melody. We got together. We kind of started with a like an interview where we got together.
You
Starbucks.
interviewed her?
No, she interviewed me.
Oh, I was like,
I already knew. Like,
what are your qualifications for being my boyfriend?
I knew based on what I knew about her that. Yeah, she was someone I definitely wanted to get to know better, and we hung out at Starbucks, and then had a great first, just low key date. But we walked away knowing that we want to do this again, and so
I want to have another interview.
Yeah, another interview, and so
yeah, my first date with Brooke was actually at Starbucks too. So thank you, Starbucks, for that. Appreciate it. Yes, and no, we did not drink pumpkin spice lattes.
I don't think I even drank coffee because I don't drink coffee, but she did. And
I'll have a water, please.
Yeah, I'm sure she was like, "Why are we at Starbucks again if you don't drink coffee?" But it was just chill environment, and it was great.
But when you asked Melody out, did she say yes, or say, "Let me think about it"?
She said yes.
With provisos.
No. She said yeah. That'd be fun.
Cool. Well, at least
I think it was. I hope it was.
Yeah, I hope it was. You might want to ask her today. Yeah. I remember when I first asked Brooke out on her first date, I was terrified, and she was getting her dance kids ready at the Christian school we were both teaching at. And I asked her out, and I said, "Do you want to go get some coffee this weekend?" And her first response was, "I think I'm going to be sick." I'm like, wow, just crash and burn.
Yeah,
that
right?
did not go too well. I was like, no, I think I'm coming down with strep throat. I'm like, okay, I've heard of I need to wash my hair.
Yeah.
I've not heard of I've got strep throat. That was a new one. Turns out she actually had strep throat. She actually did have strep throat, and we talked that weekend for like 3 hours on the phone. And that's how I knew I wanted to go on a first date with her for sure, because I talked with someone for 3 hours and I didn't get bored.
Yeah.
So that was
absolutely.
Like
that's how our date was. Like it felt easy. Like it was very easy. It felt like no time had passed, and it was amazing.
That's cool.
So yeah, here we go. You ready?
Well, hold on. Getting into the word one, we have to pick that one apart too. So what does it mean to get into the word?
Why are you asking me? You don't know what it means to get into the word?
I do. I'm just doing the thing.
Get into the word, the Bible.
Okay,
get into the word.
Someone may be listening to this and not know what that phrase means. So part of this is unpacking it.
Come on, man. They know what that means.
Getting into the word.
Getting into the word.
So you say that, but it was funny. So I went to a really conservative Bible college. Okay, really conservative. In fact, when I went there, it loosened up some. And this is the same Bible college that Philip Yancey went to, okay? And he wrote a book called What's So Amazing About Grace? And a lot of it was in response to a lot of Phariseeism and legalistic kind of tendencies that the school had back in the heyday. But they had alarms that would go off, I think at 6 o'clock in the morning, and in the dormitories. And when the alarm went off, the handbook said you had to be in the Word.
No.
You had to be in the Word. And so what did some smart aleck guys do? They named their bed, so you had to be in the Word, and you had to have your feet on the floor. That was the rule. You had to have your feet on the floor, and you had to be in the Word. So what do these smart aleck guys do? They name their bed the Word, and they turn their body out of their bed so their feet could be on the floor, and they could still lay in bed. So if someone asks, were you in the Word? Yep. Were you feeling the floor? Yep.
I don't know what's more sad, the fact that those guys did that, or the fact that the school gave you guys an alert. Like
it's pretty rough.
That's a little extreme.
It wasn't like that when I was there. It was like maybe a couple decades before I was there. But yeah, it was. I heard some interesting war stories.
Discipline's good, but I mean to force that on people.
Discipline.
We
had man, we couldn't have hair past our collar. Man, what was something? We couldn't hold hands with somebody of the opposite sex until you had been engaged.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you had like girls going and crying to their RA and saying and like confessing, this weekend I held hands with my significant other. Like, oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
Okay.
We're digressing here.
We're digressing quickly.
All right.